Agent Argylle.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Director Matthew Vaughn's action comedy epic Argylle could be the next big franchise for the filmmaker. But will there be a sequel, Argylle 2? Released in February 2024, Argylle follows a reclusive spy fiction author who finds herself caught up in an international conspiracy after discovering that the events in her books have come to life. With its mind-bending premise, Argylle delivers Vaughn's signature blend of exhilarating action and quirky humor. Despite the film's mixed reception, some critics praised Vaughn's direction but found the plot overly complicated and too lengthy for its lighthearted tone. The team behind Argylle remains optimistic about its potential and is already planning to expand the franchise. Even with the first film still fresh, the chances of a sequel seem pretty high. Months after the first film failed to launch the franchise, the latest news sees director Matthew Vaughn weighing in on Argylle 2. Responding to critics who panned the action comedy, Vaughn pointed to the film's growing success on streaming. Hinging the future of the franchise on an uptick in popular support, Vaughn hopes that the box office flop will eventually pave the way for a sequel. However, he didn't elaborate on what those plans might entail or provide updates on the previously announced prequel series. Vaughn's full comments were, "We're doing very well on streaming. People are liking it. Nothing would make me happier than making another one. I'm getting texts saying, wow, those reviews were fucking harsh. The more we can get people to watch Argylle, the more chance we have of making another one. I'd love to make another one. We've got it planned. It'll make a good little movie. We'll see. Never say never." Determining the cast of Argylle 2 is tricky due to the many mind-bending twists at the end of the first film, which shook up the traditional franchise formula. Unlike the previously announced Argylle prequel, the most likely scenario for the sequel is that it continues the story directly from the first film, set in the universe's real world. This could mean that Bryce Dallas Howard might reprise her role as Ellie, and Henry Cavill could return as the titular agent. However, pinning down the rest of the cast would be more challenging, as the meta-narrative leaves room for a wide array of potential returns. Unlike other movie and TV franchises that naturally grow over time, Argylle has taken a different path and has been pitched as a franchise from the get-go. Argylle could potentially evolve into a trilogy based on what Matthew Vaughn has hinted at, with each film reinventing the structure of the series as it goes along. Using the fictional books as a springboard, Vaughn mentioned, "Book 1 is about how did Argylle become a spy. That will be the next film." When Vaughn talks about Book 1, he's not referring to the first film, but plans to adapt the fictional books sequentially after the 2024 movie. Argylle 2, based on Vaughn's comments, will be an adaptation of the fictional first book in the Ellie Conway series, which could either be a fabricated story or set apart from Ellie's universe. At this point, it's unclear how the planned Argylle prequel series fits into the movies, or if the series might serve as a replacement for a theatrical sequel. As yet, Argylle 2 isn't even officially confirmed, but the story possibilities seem endless and intriguingly complex. Based on Matthew Vaughn's plans, Argylle 2 aims to adapt the first book supposedly written by Ellie Conway, which chronicles Argylle's early days as a spy. The credit sequences of Argylle revealed a crossover with the Kingsman, confirming a shared universe. Argylle 2 could continue down this track, or opt for a more straightforward adventure featuring Agent Argylle. The film does confirm a post-credit scene, technically a mid-credit scene, showed during the middle of the credits sequence with no additional tag at the end. Viewers should definitely wait through the credits to get a glimpse of what's next for the franchise. The big reveal in Argylle's mid-credit scene confirms that the Argylle and Kingsman films share the same universe. It's set 20 years before the main events of the movie and features a young Aubrey Argylle, played by Enola Holmes star Louis Patridge, walking into a bar with a familiar name for Vaughn's spy movie universe, the King's Man. This bar, unlike the one Eggsy frequents in Kingsman: The Secret Service, connects directly to the Kingsman movie, establishing a crossover between Argylle and the Kingsman thanks to the shared name and the secret spy organization. The presence of the Kingsman bar also hints at the broader business and operational scope of the Kingsman organization, beyond what was seen in previous films. This mid-credit scene not only ties Argylle's origin story to the Kingsman organization, but also opens up potential future interactions between the two franchises. It solidifies a shared cinematic universe, hinting that Argylle could cross paths with Kingsman again in the future. The mid-credit scene in Argylle is a pivotal setup for the franchise's future, hinting at a prequel in development. Reports surfaced shortly ahead of the movie's release that Matthew Vaughn is spearheading an Argylle prequel series. The prequel seems to be intended as a movie franchise rather than a TV series, with Louis Patridge set to reprise his role as a younger Aubrey Argylle. It's still unclear whether any other Argylle cast members will return for this prequel. The lack of specific details from the Argylle post-credit scene leaves the story direction for the prequel still somewhat ambiguous. The series could explore this moment in Argylle's life more deeply and potentially go back even further to depict his origins and the events that led him to the Kingsman bar. This would provide an opportunity to expand on the shared universe, fleshing out the connections between Kingsman and Agent Argylle's past. In any case, the Argylle prequel should provide more insight into how the young Agent Argylle is portrayed in Ellie Conway's novels, offering a richer backstory and context for his character development. The mid-credit scene of Argylle presents a surprising setup for Argylle 2. The title card at the end, Argylle Book 1, The Movie Coming Soon, suggests that the next film may not be a typical sequel or even feature Henry Cavill's version of Agent Argylle. Instead, the plan appears to focus on Louis Patridge reprising his role as the younger Argylle, taking a more prominent position. It's still possible that Cavill's older Argylle might appear, as the film could delve into the fictional adventures of Conway's agent. This setup for Argylle 2 raises questions about the involvement of the main cast from the first movie. If the sequel-prequel centers around the fictional Agent Argylle, characters like Bryce Dallas Howard's Ellie Conway Rachel Kyle or Sam Rockwell's Aiden might not return. One way to include them could be by showing the real events that inspired Ellie's book in a prequel, allowing both leads to reprise their roles. The Kingsman organization and familiar characters could also potentially appear in Argylle 2. The universe's rules are already a bit tangled, especially given Samuel L. Jackson and Sofia Boutella's crossover roles across both franchises. The post-credits scene hints that Argylle and Kingsman might share connections, either through a fictional universe or real-world ties, complicating the narrative further. For Kingsman 3, the post-credits scene has significant implications. Matthew Vaughn's confirmed development of the third installment indicates he's planning a crossover, possibly integrating the CIA and Agent Argylle into the Kingsman universe. The inclusion of Henry Cavill's Argylle in Kingsman 3 could generate excitement, positioning him as a key figure either in the book universe or as a real character. This crossover could serve as a crucial moment for both franchises, potentially aligning their stories in a way that enhances the appeal of both Argylle and Kingsman 3. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.